Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being today here with us. I'm opening an open data study visit that was in organization of 4 countries. It's under the project ODEON, Open Data for European Open Innovation, and its Interact Mediterranean program. And we will have organizations from 4 countries who are actively involved as project partners. We have Croatian Agency for SMEs, Innovations and Investments, Hamag Bicro. I'm the representative in front of it and will be your moderator for today. Also, Chamber of Economy Montenegro, Ms. Sandra Peric, Technology Park Ljubljana, Mr. Aleš Pevc, who we heard a moment ago, and from Padova Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Crafts and Agriculture is Mr. Andrea Galeota. First, I would like to welcome, we should say ladies first, Ms. Mirjana Begovic, Director for e-Governance from the Ministry of Public Administration of Montenegro. Please, Mr. Mirjana.
Thank you, Eva. Hello to everyone. It is my great pleasure to speak first and to greet you all from cloudy Podgorica in Montenegro. First of all, I would like to thank our hosts for organizing this event in those specific and complex time for all of us. And although we are all used to online meetings and conferences, it's a great pity we couldn't reflect this study visit live, because the time we could spend in informal conversations before and after the meetings is always very important. But I'm sure that we will seize this opportunity and succeed today to share experiences from our countries. I would also like to thank all partners in this project for their contribution and cooperation. And of course, you will understand my greatest appreciation goes to Chamber of Economy of Montenegro for first recognizing the Ministry of Public Administration as associated partner in this project from the very beginning. And I'm sure that our cooperation will continue in other fields as well. The main goal of this project, yes?
Could just sorry for interruption,
okay,
but
okay.
we don't see you. Maybe
sorry for that, really, because I'm at the office and I don't have a camera on my desktop computer.
Okay.
I'm very sorry. I should have apologized myself first. Okay. I'm sorry for that. The main goal of the project was to create a new management model in Montenegro based on use of open data and in line not only with the strategy of digital single market, but also with strategic framework we adopted previously in Montenegro in the field of information society, open government initiatives, and many more involving digital transformation. This project, the ODEON, promotes an opportunity to stimulate private companies to work on applications and services using an open data resources. But first of all, it helped us, so this project helped us to understand and accept the concept of open data in Montenegro. As you will hear later in my presentation, Montenegro has come a long way from adopting a normative framework for the first time, relating open data, then creating an open data portal, and finally joining the European open data family. And I'm sure that today's presentations, and especially business and open data study cases, definitely will help us to improve the open data framework and to establish some new data sets, some new application and activities for the next period. That is all from my side for now. Once again, I would like to greet you all and wish all of us a good day with open data.
Okay, thank you for your kind words. Next will be Mr. Božo Zeba, Head of Sector for Development of Digital Infrastructure and Services in the Public Sector. And he's coming from Central State Office for the Development of Digital Society from Croatia. Mr. Božo.
Thank you, Eva. I hope that you can hear me. And my icon on mic says that you do. So Greeting to all of you.
Mr. Bojan, I apologize, but we don't hear you good.
Oh, okay. I will close my mic to my mouth. Can you hear me now better?
Yes, better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So start again. So greeting to all of you on the behalf of Mr. Gršić Bernard, our State of Secretary of our office, Central State Office for Digital Society Development in Croatia. I'm sorry to inform you that he couldn't be with us because of his other duties that he must attend to. So this is my apologies to all of you. So he couldn't say a few words on the beginning. As my previous predecessor says that we are sorry that we don't have on-site meeting, so not so just for the exchange of informations and experiences, but also and after work mingling, that then we share more data, more information about what we do, and maybe start a new cooperation for us, perhaps another project like this one. I'm pleased that Hamak Bikro chose us as a partner in this project, and we learned a lot from our partners and other countries in this project. So I hope that also here cloudy weather and rain is like in Montenegro, in Podgorica. So I hope that our weather won't bother us to do our best to exchange this experiences on this study visit. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words. Next, I'm calling Mr. Roberto Crosta, Secretary General from Padova Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Roberto?
Yes, morning, I'm here. Good morning, dear sirs. It's a pleasure to welcome you today, also on behalf of the President of our Chamber of Commerce, Antonio Santocono. It's an important occasion, this to present Odeon project that have the main goal, and the main goal is to exploit the potential of open data and open innovation as development drivers for the Mediterranean regions of Europe. Italy, the Chamber of Commerce are the public institution in charge of providing services to the enterprises and promoting the development of the local economy. It's an important rule, the recognition of the importance of digitalization processes started in Italy more than 40 years ago. And it's a pleasure to communicate that the father of this important process is a past president of our Chamber of Commerce, Mario Volpato, a professor of Ca' Foscari University in Venice. And the Padova Chamber of Commerce started the digitalization of the legal business register. This was the birth of the first online business register of Italy, which was considered as European best practice by the European Commission. This way is the same that currently for the Chamber of Commerce of Venice move to two important occasions of innovation. The first, Galileo Visionary District, is the scientific and technological park of Padova, hosting an important design school and a startup incubator in cooperation with the local university. And the second is the SMACT, that is a particular startup, a company born in December 2018, whose shareholders are 9 universities of the northeast of Italy, Padova Chamber of Commerce, Research Center, and 30 leading companies of northeast Italy. I think today's meeting will be an important moment to increase mutual knowledge and start a new cooperation path. Best wishes for a fruitful meeting, hoping to be able to host you physically in Padova in a near future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Roberto. And last but not least, Mr. Gianluigi Cogo, lead partner of Odon project from Veneto region. Mr. Gianluigi.
Thank you very much. Very quickly, as a lead partner of Odon project, I just like to say welcome. All of you are very welcome to this virtual meeting organized from Veneto, partnership by Andrea Galeota and its team. And I'd like to give a special welcome to all the guests, the speakers, the other contributors that today are going to describe the best practice to boost the data economy in their countries and also across the European Union as well. From our side, you know, the data economy is part of our digital agenda and our innovation strategy. After this welcome speech, my colleague Manola Tegon will describe you shortly the vision of the Veneto region. So, have a nice virtual stay in Veneto today, and despite the weather condition in Venice and Padua, in this virtual meeting, the sun is still shining. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to all of you. First of all, I would like to say that it's very good and to see that there's a lot of people interested in this subject. And now we will continue. Before we continue, I would kindly ask you, if it's not a problem for all of us, just to turn on the cameras for ones that can, so we can get a group photo of all the participants. And we can all say in the same time, big data and open data if wanted. So please turn on cameras for a group photo. Okay, I can see that a lot of people are brave. Some of us are technically great. Thank you so much. And now we can continue with the program. The next program is Open Data Ecosystem. Well, we will have presented platforms and ecosystems for sharing open data. And at the same time, we are going to see the usage of big open data. How is it possible and what can we do? So I would like to invite Mr. Manola Tegon from Digital Agenda Department from Veneto region to open data ecosystem sessions. Mr. Manola.
Good afternoon to everybody. I share with you my slide. I show you a quick presentation about our open data strategy. Our Digital Agenda 2020 emphasizes data exploitation. Indeed, data is one of the three drivers that are cross-functional to all the ecosystem, digital enterprise, agri-food, mobility, tourism, public administration, health, social services, smart communities, digital competence, and cultural heritage. And the Veneto region aims to create a digital environment that enable and encourages the collection and the processing of public data to boost economic and social growth in every sector. We have also an open data portal. In this portal, we have our tool for the provision, for the visualization with map, graph, table, and for download of open data set. Data is organized in categories, and the portal is enriched with useful documents and news. We have also a community and communication portal. Is our channel that we use to promote our open data project and all the initiatives. Also to display news about our activities and information about the digital product made with our open data. Here you can see our roadmap of our project related to open data and open innovation. They are European project and regional project. The first one was Homer project in the Interreg Med program, and it started in 2012. And the last one is a regional call about Innovation Lab, and it started this year in February. Here you can see a focus on our 3 European cooperation projects, Homer, and the main focus of this project was the quantity. So the aims was to create a federated catalog, and the main actors of this project was the public bodies. Then we have our Odeon project, also in the Interreg Med program, but we switch the focus from quantity to quality of the open data, and the aims was the demand stimulation. In this project, the main actors are not only the public bodies, but also academia, industries, and users. So the actor from the quadruple helix stakeholders. And then we have here there is our new project, DEAS, is in the Helping Space program, and their focus is to enabling tools and products with the APIs ecosystem. And also in this project, the main actors are the quadruple helix stakeholders. Veneto region, the paradigm of Veneto region is the social innovation, and open innovation is a strategic and cultural approach to innovation enabled by the data economy. It is particularly useful to address societal challenges. Often innovative social initiative fails because public sector and private sector don't collaborate and don't work closely together. And Veneto region instead want to promote this collaboration. And so we designed this call, Innovation Lab, where some municipalities can create a local innovation lab, where all the actors of the quadruple helix model can meet together and work together for the co-creation of new digital products and services. I finished my presentation. Thank you for your attention. If you have some question, I am here.
Okay, does somebody ask something or make some comments? So far, so
From
not.
our side, maybe just one question from our side, Eva.
Yes.
Manola, I have a question. How it's what is a results of what is a plan for future for your Fab Labs? You have a very nice presentation also from Fab Labs. How you connect this with open data in Broadwild?
Fab Labs is, they work with Innovation Lab. They collaborate together. We stimulate their collaboration. So the Innovation Lab can use the competence of Fab Lab to work with the open data.
Thank you. Okay, the question also that was asked, do all the participants will get presentations after the meeting? Yes, we are planning to send presentations to all participants. Yes. And next, I'm calling Ms. Mirjana Begovic, Director of the Directorate for E-Governance from Ministry of Public Administration of Montenegro. Ms. Mirjana.
Thank you, Ivan. Yeah, again, it was a very inspirational presentation from Manola. I would like to share my presentation now. If you all see it, please confirm. Do you see the presentation?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So since I'm coming from the public sector, this first slide is just a little mentioning of basic principles of open data that we are all aware of. So I'm not going to detail anything more about it, just that open data generally provide more transparent data to the public, which is very important for the public sector, for the public administration. And provide citizens opportunities to create a new value, also encourage the development of new creative business in ICT sector, and which is important for us that public authorities produce and collect a large amount of data, and they're not aware of it, and they're not aware of the benefits of those data. So they actually are not aware that it has a significant economic potential. On the other side, I would like to mention some key milestones that Montenegro had in the previous time, because the first strategic recognition of the topic of open data was in 2016 in Strategy for the Information Society Development, which ends this year. And it was a moment when we recognized the action plan and future activities for us for developing the open data concepts. So in that strategy, we defined benefits, stakeholders, and what has to be our way for the next period of 4 years. After that, in 2017, very important for us in normative way, a normative framework, was the adoption of amending law to the free access to information, because open data and reuse of information was mentioned for the first time actually, and was defined in the few key articles in that law. 2018, we had a public reform strategy, very important strategy for us as well. And we established an open data portal for the first time. Of course, very important role in framework was also the National Action Plan for the implementation of Open Government Partnership Initiative, which Montenegro is part of. And it prescribes proactive access to information as a key obligation to institutions in public sector, which is very important for us because, as I will mention in later slides, it is our main challenge that public institutions don't realize the benefits of opening data, and they are, I might say, even they're very afraid of it because they don't know that openness doesn't mean that it has anything to do with some secret information and something like that. So in 2019, we also had an upgrade of Open Data Portal. And finally, we are very proud of that Montenegro is a part of European Open Data Portal in June this year. And that somehow our data will be recognized in all Europe for all the citizens and public who will like to see what Montenegro has to offer in the open data sector. On the other hand, I would just like to say something how we started first. Because Ministry of Public Administration and the government of Montenegro has worked intensively on establishing the concept of open data. And we have, as you will see, we have results that shows commitment and readiness for further affirmation of open data. However, I must underline that back in 2018, we recognized the roadmap of a development, but also the challenges we will face, and we are facing them. And the challenges stays the same through all these years. Those principles were recognized in the document of analyses, as we call the analyses of the readiness for public publishing data in open format within public administration. And the Ministry of Public Administration had prepared that document for government. And one of the conclusion was to establish a clear mechanism for the management and coordination of open data programs. So Ministry of Public Administration formed an intersectoral working team consisting of 27 members from state institutions, academia, IT community, and civil sector. And on the other hand, also very important, we're talking about it today and we're the part of it today in terms of international and regional cooperation. We had a very fruitful cooperation in this Odium project. I will not talk about activities in this program since I think that Sandra will go through it later, but I would like to mention the organization of first hackathon on last year on the topic of make it accessible and useful. And we're very proud that we had 6 teams of very young people competed at the hackathon, young people from university, high schools, IT companies, and they presented a solution using available data sets at that time. And the solutions vary from tourism, they were related to NGO sector, the improvement of the environment, and it was the first time actually that Montenegro has a hackathon with young people on the topic of open data. Our portal, as I mentioned, was published in 2018. It has 107 data sets from 18 institutions in 15 thematic areas and categories. And we are aware that it's not a large number, but we are trying to convince all institutions that they need to share data sets with us. Of course, even though the situation with COVID-19 generally somehow slowed some activities in the public sector, but also it is very much of an opportunity in the open data, openness of data in public sector, because some very important solutions were made through the region and through the world with open data. So we hope that in the next period we will have, of course, more and more data sets and more involved institutions from Montenegro. Of course, this open data portal gives us and open kind of a new paradigm, and we need to, as I said, involve institutions and IT sector and citizens to understand this concept through encouraging innovative solutions, establishing, of course, the standards in public data management. People have to be aware that they can share, search and download and reuse public data for also commercial and non-commercial purposes. That we created for them a platform which data are searchable and deployable and machine readable, which is very important, of course, and the focus of the open data concept as well. Our next steps when we talk about public administration is definitely to promote and educate public administration in the concept of open data. Then we have to analyze the data the institutions have, because sometimes they're not aware that they have very useful information for the public. So we need more meetings, more brochures, more promotion, and finally to set up data sets for use on our portal. Also, it is very important to conduct comprehensive training for our IT staff and all, of course, employees in public institutions. Then we think that it would be very important for organizing some campaign for setting up data with the help of data working team. So we can have, as a result, the creation of a larger number of published open data. Also, we think that it would be very helpful to have some survey on startups and their need for the data, because sometimes business is more open to new solutions, and perhaps we can have some inputs from their side, what they need and what they want to see on open data portal. Of course, there are some other regulations we had to amendment, but it is all in the continuous work in public administration. Priority data sets from the European point of view are those you can see on the slide, but in Montenegro we would also like to deal with the transport and storage, with financial services, budgeting, agriculture, of course, health, education, and many more. So there is a few years of work behind us, and definitely much more work in the future. And just at the end, to mention some main challenges we're facing. I mentioned some of them earlier, but definitely it is technical data processing and quality, training of data officers, data protection, awareness of the right to open data for all the public, and of course contributing to innovation and interoperability regarding open data concept. So I hope that this gave you some kind of insight into what Montenegro is doing in open data ecosystems, and I'm open to any questions if you have. Now,
thank you very much. We have a question from Serjan. What is the definition of startup for mentioned survey in the current presentation?
Well, we had some meetings with the ICT sector and with young people who wish to make startups. Definitely, We had some clusters of startup business in Montenegro. Not only the Ministry of Public Administration, but also the Ministry of Science had some very important activities regarding startups. And we would like to hear from the businesses in general what they need from open data, what kind of open data they need, if they have any solution in mind to realize and to develop applications. So we think that that kind of survey that we can tackle in to see what they really want could be a very useful for the public administration.
Thank you. Any more questions? Okay. So next presenter is Mr. Božo Zeba with his presentation High Value Datasets. And he's from Central State Office for the Development of the Digital Society from Croatia. Mr. Božo, please.
Hello, it's me again from Croatia. So I hope that you can see my presentation.
Okay, we have the same problem as in the beginning. We don't hear you well.
Okay. I'm unmuted and I will just close my mic to my mouth. So can you hear me now better or?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I hope that you can see my screen and my presentation. When I think about this day and what should I present or what should we talk about, the biggest question that is raised recently and few months ago, and it's very big fuzz about it, is value of data sets, especially with the new Open Data Directive, which was which brings up this question of high value data sets, and the whole regulation in this area make us think, what should we do with value? What is the value of data? Of course, we all know that data has value. How do we measure it? Which methodology we use? So we did our homework. We raised started some project, and we raised these questions to some smart people, and they do their job and support us with this research about value of data sets. So for the beginning, I just wanted to see where we are now. So Croatia, Italy, Montenegro, and Slovenia. I looked, of course, I looked on the Open Data portal. I saw Open Data Maturity measurement in 2019, and I think that we are pretty good. We are in the upper half of the scale, and because they are measuring 32 countries, we are Italy is definitely ahead of Slovenia and Croatia on the position of 8, Slovenia 10, and we are just behind. So I could say that we are quite good in area of open data, according to Open Data Maturity measured by the European Commission. Sorry for Montenegro, European Commission didn't measure your score on Open Data Maturity model, so I couldn't put you on the list. But as I saw on Ms. Begovic presentation, she will and they will soon have their job done, and the portal and so on, and regulation and so and other tasks regarding to open data ecosystem. So I hope that they will be included in the next 2020 or 2021 Open Data Maturity measurement, so that they can see where they are. After that, of course, I looked at the Open Data Directive and high value data sets, and Open Data Directive defined 6 thematic categories: geospatial, earth observation and environment, meteorological, statistics, companies and company ownerships, and mobility. Okay, Europe and European Commission also think hard about this. What is the value of data? And they also have this project about how to measure and how to choose which data sets from these thematic categories are really high value data sets. So we thought about this data set value perspective in two ways. Of course, you can measure over the time, and you can measure from different perspectives. We thought that the dataset value can be from the reuser perspective defined and valued, and they can give some numbers to the datasets that publishers publish, but we don't know what are their stand for some of the type of values. So we also know that there is economical value, there is of course social value, political value, and environmental value of datasets. And from the reuser perspective, for example, this is the biggest question in our analysis. We want to know how they think, what is the value, what is the economical value, how they question and how they even think about what is the economical value. And we find out that this was an easiest one to quantify, because it's easy. If you have some data sets, you develop some application, you put some price on it, and you sell it. And afterwards, if you have a good income, this is economical value. A different type of problem raise a political, social, and environmental value. These are subjective values, and everybody think these values in a different way. So we have a lot of examples. For example, in USA, based on open data that public sector provides, some open data activists developed some great application for poor people, how to easy to apply for social benefits that public administration provides for them, much easier than, for example, before when they have to apply it for with the paper and go to the office or somewhere else, because they are embarrassed, they are poor, they don't want to beg for their rights, but of course they need help. So they developed a mobile application that for poor people who applies for social benefits, and it was much easier. And they also used the statistics for that to improve this application. This is just one example how social benefits and social value can be different and can be very tough to quantify. Of course, when we talk about political influence or political value, we have two perspectives. Political from the parties that are on power, they are defining these policies and so on. And for example, NGOs, they think that all political data have a maximum value. This was also a challenge in our methodology, how to be objective in that, and how to raise a question, because if you ask some guys or girls from NGOs, what do you think are the, I don't know, family relations of prime minister, are their political high value data? Of course they are. How and when you ask them to quantify that, is it 1 or 10? They all say 10 for every data sets. Of course, not all the data about politicians are valued same. So we in our analysis have to face this challenge. Because we don't know before the data is published what is the value, we should measure it. We also asked the other members of European Union and check if they have methodology of measuring of influence or data sets values. And so most of them have. 54% of members of European Union have some kind of methodology. But most of the countries, they don't have a framework for measurement. And their marks for influence are not systematic. This was a conclusion by our researchers, and most of the measurements are through some kind of questionnaires and weblog analysis. And we have a big problem with measurement of reuse and a value of reuse in these 4 areas: political, economical, environmental, and social. So our proposal is that we measure it and quantify it as a total dataset value index, which is composed of economical index, social index, political index, and environmental index. And of course, easy formula, if you want to have total dataset value index, you should just add these numbers and say, okay, this is value. But we can agree on that no, there is no direct correlation and no direct influence between these indexes. And so we have to put in ponders. So we proposed for our case, for Croatian perspective, that we measure our dataset values in a way that we add these numbers and with some ponders, because we all knows that everything is driven by the money and the economical perspective. So if you, for example, want to push up some startups on data economy, we should bring the push to the publishers to publish the data that have most economical values. Of course, if we measure before, we should measure after it. So the same here for ex-post measurement, the total dataset value index with economical index, social index, political index, and environmental index. And we added some yet another index is usage index, which is also part of our methodology ex-post, and with the same formula with the ponders. So our experiment and our idea is not tested yet, so this is a limitation of that. But when we start our new portal, which is now in the public tendering, so I hope that we will until the end of this year and start of the 2021, we have a new portal with new features, with modernized infrastructure behind it, and that we could measure this influence, and we could have some new methodology in place and test it, how does it works. Of course, because of limit of the time, I didn't go into the details about how to measure economical index or some other index, but we have 120 pages of analysis done. So if somebody is interested in analysis, we could discuss it, and I could share with you our findings. I have a little obstacle with that because it's in Croatian language. I hopefully in future time I will translate it to the English, so to share with some non-Croatian speaking partners. So this is all for me, and this is my contact mail. So if you have some questions and answers, and you want some answers from me, you can ask them by email or right now. So please speak up.
Thank you, Mr. Božo. Do we have some questions for him now at the moment? Okay, it was very grateful from you to wish and opportunity to share your analysis, even though it's not on English yet, but we hope that you will have it soon. And last but not least, Mr. Aleš Veršič from the Ministry of Public Administration from Slovenia. Mr. Aleš, please.
Thank you. Hello to Italy, Croatia, Montenegro, and also to Slovenian colleagues. I will try to start to share my screen. Okay, just a second. Okay, sure. I hope that you can see my presentation. Can you see the presentation, please?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Yes.
I can see, Aleš.
You can see?
Yeah.
I can see too.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I will talk about a little bit about open data in Slovenia, about our portal and our activities. Firstly, I will make some small introduction to OPSI structure. The OPSI is the name of the Odprti podatki Slovenije, Open Data of Slovenia, about our ecosystem and our OPSI features in our portal. Our core web page is Open Data Portal of Slovenia, and we also developed some interesting features. Some of them basically should be available soon. I hope by the end of this year. One of them is chatbot. The purpose of using chatbot is to make a little bit different insight into the data. So users can search through this chatbot through the data. For example, we have now 4 different data sets. One is public holidays, one is sports facilities, one is about cars, and the last one is about payment in the public sector in Slovenia. So through the chatbot, the user can go through these data sets and see the information about that. For example, what is, let's say, a nice feature is the chatbot proposes you which is the next holiday in Slovenia, and also suggests you if the holiday is on, I don't know, on a Tuesday, then if you take the vacation day on Monday, you can have a little bit longer weekend. So this is the chatbot. The second one is also, which is also important when Božo talking before about high value data set. These data sets should be also available through the API. So we are in the process to establish the OPSI API module when we will have the catalog of the all API connections. And the next one is OPSI Lab. It's like laboratory using for the public employees in the first place to use some tool to have some analysis. We are using the Jupyter Notebook, open source software, and this, I hope it will be implemented next year. And this is the main page of Open Data Portal, divided into 14 thematic groups and so on. And some of the functionalities on our portal is, for example, we are using Google Translate for the users, so user can use this Google feature to translate all the data, description of the data set, the language supported by Google Translate.
Aleš, just one notice. We think that you shared just the first page of your presentation.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I can do it again then. Sorry, new share. Let's see. Okay. Okay, is it now anything different? Second. Okay. Is it now better?
Yeah, it now is better. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go quickly then. Okay, this is this OPSI structure, the chatbot, the front page of the OPSI API for the catalog for the APIs, and OPSI Lab, the laboratory using the Jupyter Notebook. And this is the front page of the Open Data Portal of Slovenia. Our functionalities, as I mentioned, is Google Translate. Then also we have, like all the similar portals in Europe, news content. Also, what is important for us is suggest a correction, so the user can get in touch with the data to the person who is responsible for the data set. So if somebody finds anything wrong in the data or something that should be improved, they can just send to the formula in the portal question or suggestion. Also, we have possibility for the users can publish application created by open data. Also for the data sets, if data is in some formats like CSV, XML, or similar, we can enable also preview data of the table data. Also, if the data have some geospatial information, also can be shown on the map visualization. There was also some something that we had changed was constant URL when changing the files, because there was, I don't know, weekly change files. So also the URL was changed, but some of the users ask us to enable to have the constant URL because they're using this data source, and they had some problems. So the important is that we are communicating with the users and having their demands. Also, we are making harvesting from different data sources of Slovenian public sector bodies. I think we have now around 85 to almost 90% of data sets are coming to our data portal based on harvesting. Also, we have some reports for the administrators on broken links, licensing levels of openness, and so on. We have also some tabs for the users to see which of the data sets published on the open data portal is really open data, and which of them are only catalog data. For example, data published in the Word format, it's of course not open data, but still the users can see the existence of these data sets. So if they find something interesting, they can also propose to change from Word or Excel to some open data formats. Also, we are for the editors, they have some functionality which harvested the links to the legal basis of the data sets they have published on our portal, which maintaining all the legal basis. And also we have some guides to implementing the PSI directive. And activities for us, which will be important in the coming years, it's an action plan to be updated, defined network of contact points. We already have some of them, but it should be checked out and see if there are any changes. Also, we have education of the potential data publishers. We should also update the guidelines for open data, find some key databases, especially this one like high-value data set. And what is important, we're using also some personal approach and working on low-hanging fruits. So focus on the institutions which are cooperative, not this one, the other ones who wanted, I don't know, a lot of papers, but and there is no outcome. The next important stuff about open data in Slovenia is open data ecosystem. We are trying to involve all the stakeholders, like public sector institutions, education institutions, non-governmental, research journalists, startup companies, and based on that, with the initiative of Technological Park of Ljubljana and Business Chamber of Commerce in Slovenia, we have also established Open Data Hub of Slovenia, which is important is to make some promotions and helping to educate the people about open data. We are also organizing Open Data Festival with faculties. Now we're already in the new year of this cooperation. The idea is that public institutions prepare some challenges, and the students of the different faculties during the seminar work or diplomas, they should help to solve this challenge or prepare some solution about this challenge. Also, it's very important for us, this cooperation with ODOM project. We have also organized courses on the topic of open data of the public sector for teachers, principals, and students, conferences, organizing conferences, seminars, trainings, and so on. Also, we are organizing the hackathons. So this year we are in the middle of the first hackathon. The first part of this hackathon was in the last week of September, and in the beginning of November, it will be the second part. That 6 teams which are get the best solutions going to the second part, and during this time waiting for the second part, the Technological Park of Ljubljana is organizing the coaching for them to improve their presentations and their solutions. And the topic of this year was living with climate change. Was the topic of this the hackathon of this year. In Slovenia, we have, let's say, a small core team of open data, only 1.5 FTE. We have chief editor and some technical staff. Then we have also PSI directly contact point at every institution, local editors. We are also trying to establish some open data advisory board with 12 members. It's still ongoing process. And also update the open data strategy is also in the process. And we have some examples. One of them you will see later today, Autolog visualization of the government procurement and street cameras, and some about anti-corruptions. And some features that are implemented, some workflow management, we'll create some new roles. Also, one quite important is retrieval of keywords databases. It's from Eurovoc and GameT. So editors can use keywords from these two vocabularies. Also, this harvesting issue. As I mentioned before, the chatbot and OPSI API is in development, and this one, Jupyter Notebook, for the data analysis and visualization is in the future plan. The best part of that, this Jupyter Notebook, is that people who create such kind of visualization, data visualization, as you can see, they can share this notebook with the others, so everybody can use this visualization and change the data source or something like that. So this will be a short briefing about open data in Slovenia. Where are we going? What are we doing? And that will be all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aleš. Okay, so since we are good with time, I would like to maybe start a short discussion between all the presenters. We are hearing about the importance of open big data lately, and we can see definitely the benefit of its usage. But Ms. Miriam also mentioned challenges, and I believe that in most countries the challenges are pretty much the same. How can we improve the good quality data? How can we develop quality open data ecosystems? And the most important question that usually is in the way the hardest, public institutions, how to educate them and to involve them to provide us with good quality, big open data. So
just to comment, you ask us public administrations how to
no, I'm actually trying to ask what are your suggestions how to improve and get good quality data.
Yeah, yes, I understand your question, but this is a very tricky question because I work for administration, and how can I force some of my colleagues to publish data. So this is, I would like to also have this answer, and we have these huge challenges of it. I mentioned this is why I choose a topic for this today's presentation, high value datasets, because only if we talk to the public administrations in a way that raise the question of value and additional value that will be done and made with open data, with data at all, maybe we could motivate them to open data. Of course, in Croatia, some incentive like it will be more value for the customers, for the citizens, isn't enough. So we planned, because of obligation with the Open Data Directive, we have to change our law based for the data. So we will prescribe that they must publish open data defined as high value data sets in an appropriate way and as soon as possible with some strict deadlines. So this is one angle that we look for, and hopefully that will produce more data sets and of course focus on high value data sets. In the previous our experience with our portal, it's 7 years when the portal was established. We also saw that the public administration usually publish data that is easiest to publish. But these data is not, these data sets are not good and quality. So we hope that these two streams that we are planning to do, some legal obligations and some awareness campaign to the public administration that do the job. So this is from our perspective. But also I would like to point out to the people who are from, I don't know, companies and so on, to give their opinion on how to deal with this problem. And of course, I would like to ask some question to Aleš, because he missed question and answer session. So Aleš, do you plan to give some visualization tools besides that on the portal? For example, to just simple visualization tools for the citizens to play with?
Currently not, because it would take some other issue, but currently we just making this visualization internal, but I hope in the future we will make some this kind of visualization also publicly available, but for now just not.
Thank you, thank you. And yes, just another question for Aleš. Do you offer a kind of self-service for the public administration to make their own portal? For example, like today's web pages. If you want to make a web page, you don't have to have infrastructure. Just go to some of the vendors. You just click on a few buttons and put some data in your web, and your web is alive. So do you plan to do this something like that in your portal to motivate public administration in Slovenia to publish the data sets?
Situation is like that in Slovenia, the web page of the ministries, they should using the central point gov.si to create their web page, but to creating some data set for the public institutions, for the ministries, we have some projects where can you create some basic tables and collecting the data. So this is already created by the other project. It's called Registry to Go. So we are using some, I think, Oracle platform, and they can create the data sets and have the data sets in centralized system, and then they can publish it on the POPSI portal and link it this data to that registry. So yeah.
And do you allow subnational portals like micro portals on your side, or everybody should be on your portal?
No, we have only one national portal, and some institutions can have, let's say, data sets when we're using the harvesting, for example, the geoportal of geospatial data. I know that some the Ljubljana municipal, they already create some open data portal, but we are not encourage them to create the local portals because this demand the costs, and I think for the country like Slovenia, it's one portal, it's quite enough to have it. Otherwise, it will be it's not to be a rational cost to maintain the different portals. So.
Thank you, Alish.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe some last words from Ms. Miriam or Ms. Manola. Okay, so in the next part, we are going to hear about cases, study cases, hackathon winners, and also companies that are using open big data. And I would like to ask Mr. Mislav Jurisic from GDI Ltd to present the work of his company. Mr. Mislav is board advisor for Group Innovation, Development and Strategy at GDI Group.
Eva? Hello? Eva?
Yes?
Just to notice, the Sandra Peric should present Odeon maybe first.
Oh, yes, I apologize to everybody. I skipped the part. I was really excited about the presentations and the discussion, so I apologize. Next, the short presentation of Project Odeon will be given by Ms. Sandra Peric, Chamber of Economy of Montenegro. Sandra, please.
Thank you, Eva. Good afternoon, dear speakers, guests, and project partners. It is my pleasure to greet you on behalf of the Chamber of Montenegro and my own, and to present to you on behalf of the partnership the project under which we have gathered today for this study visit. So I will now share my presentation, just to find it. So that one. Okay. We are gathered today under the project Odeon, which is an acronym for Open Data for European Open Innovation. It is implemented under the Axis 1 of the Mediterranean program, and that is promoting Mediterranean innovation capacities to develop smart and sustainable growth networks of key smart and sustainable growth. The project-specific objective is to increase transnational activity of innovative clusters and networks of key sectors of the Med area. The initial project duration was supposed to be 30 months. It started on the 1st of February 2018 and was supposed to end on the 31st of July this year. However, it was extended to 6 more months and it will end at the end of this year. The project budget is 2,013,842 euros. There are 10 partners in the consortium from 7 project areas. So the project areas are France, Spain, Italy, Croatia, Slovenia, Greece, and Montenegro. So it is 6 EU areas and 1 IPA area, and that is us. As you can see, the project partners, the lead partner is the Veneto region, and the partnership mainly consists either of the regional development agencies or business support organizations such as the chambers or technology parks and innovation offices. We also have associated partners at the very beginning. Not all countries had associate partners, but in the course of time, each area had one. And our natural partner was the Ministry of Public Administration of Montenegro, to which we are thankful that they decided to join us in this project, and that they were great support in the organization of various events that we carried out within the project. The main objective of the project is to set up an innovative metadata cluster, which would be composed of SMEs, startups, and research institutions, and which would develop the entrepreneurial, marketing, and social value of open data. This cluster will be composed of the local sustainable service providers, which we call data hubs. Each area has created one data hub, so there are 7 of data hubs, and they should be able to trigger the actors' attitude to publish good open data, to assist SMEs and startups to develop innovative products and services. The specific objectives of the project are to increase the availability of freely and of good quality open data. And these activities are mainly referred to the public actors, because they are usually the biggest providers of open data, but not the exclusive ones. There are also many companies which could open their data, which could be useful. Then another very important specific objective is to strengthen the use and reuse of open data by quadruple helix actors, and to support the public and private actors interested to use and reuse open data with innovative services. Our targets of reference are, of course, regional and national authorities, because of the open data they possess and which they need to open to be used. Then clusters and SMEs, which both deal with data and digital technologies, but not only these SMEs, but also the SMEs which come from the MED strategic sectors. And the MED strategic sectors are blue growth, green growth, and creative industries. We also targeted our activities to intermediary organizations, which should be trained and were trained in the course of the project to assist youth, startups, and SMEs. Here is this slide. Shows the 3 main pillars of the project, and that is the formation of the data hub. I will say just a few words about the data hub. So it is supposed, it consists in each country of the actors which are based on the 4 helix actors pillar. And the hub provides specialized services which are in line with the smart strategy specialization for each country. And their mission is to collect actors and stakeholders interested to support the data economy and entrepreneurial initiatives by use and reuse of open data, to provide services and awareness actions to quadruple helix actors, and to promote the participation of SMEs to the metadata cluster. So these 7 data hubs will be united into a metadata cluster. This will help them gather local projects identified and coached to have better impact on investors, markets, etc., to promote cooperation and knowledge exchange actions between SMEs and research and technology transfer actors and public actors, and to identify possible synergies and strengthen the internationalization of the sector dealing with the data economy. These activities of the metadata cluster in their first phase will go through the Odion platform, which assures the flow of open data and linked open data in agreement with the local platforms. So this Odion platform is the result of the capitalization of other projects, so like the ones mentioned before, Homer platform, but also Linda and Your Data Stories, which are also projects, I think, done under the Horizon program. This is one illustration of our Odion platform. So here you can see the links to the 7 data hubs. And if you click on them, then you will get the information of that particular data hub. This is an illustration of our launching event. So this is when we launched the Data Hub last year on the 3rd of July. We had 47 participants, which 15 were hub members. This slide shows the services provided by each data hub. So these are capacity building, knowledge, and business development services. I already said a few words about the platform. I can only say that this platform enables a constant flow of data in the 3 thematic areas of the project. A few words about the project activities. So under these project activities and in the testing phase of the project, we first had to launch the Data Hub, and then within this Data Hub, we organize hackathon, matchmaking and networking events, workshops and webinars, and this study tour today is also one of the activities within this project and within this phase of the project. And we in Montenegro had one specific activity, and that was Open Data Caravan, where we visited the public institutions one-on-one and presented the usefulness of opening the data, the benefits of opening data in the machine-readable format. So the main goal of matchmaking events, workshops, and webinars that we implemented were to inform the stakeholders about the state of open data, to present the best practices, identify the needs of the economy, identify barriers for the use of open data, and promote participation in the Data Hub. We also worked on the promotion of open data portals and data sets at regional and national level, talked about the options for B2B networking between different stakeholders. We worked on building up intermediaries' capacities, on promoting access to finance for the introduction of innovative services and products, and development of business ideas. Here is an illustration from our, an illustration from our hackathon that we organized in the partnership with the Ministry of Public Administration in October last year, under the biggest regional ICT event, which is InfoFest. We had 28 participants in 6 teams. And also we had very good coverage in the media, and we have, as a result, we also have 2 videos from the event, and if there is time, we can show one of the videos, the short one. So here is just the illustration, as InfoFest is always organized in Budva, so these are the photos from the event. And some also photos from our activities related to address to the media. So participations at the national TV channel, news items, promotion through social networks. We also created an open data flyer in the local language, which we disseminate at our events, not only events organized on the topics of ICT, but other events as well. I would, in the end, like to just share my opinion on the challenges that we faced during our work in the project. We got the impression that the concept of open data is quite a new one if we compare to other project areas, such as Italy and Slovenia, where their use may be more advanced. So we were practically making the first steps in the introduction of the more active use of open data, and we decided that the best thing would be to work in parallel towards all the representatives of the 4 helix model, which means government, industry, academia, and the civil sector, but we also targeted students, programmers, media, and citizens. This was done through the project activities like organization of webinars, seminars, workshops, info days, conferences, publishing of the material, as I just showed, participating in other events related to this topic, and dissemination of knowledge and information. Some of the conclusions that we made. First of all, that there is a lot of potential, and this was especially visible during the organization of the hackathon, where at the time there was a relatively limited number of open data, and still the participants came up with some amazing ideas for applications. We also saw, and we hope it is partially the result of our efforts in the project, that the number of the data sets has increased, because when the project started, there were 33 data sets, and now we are having 107. And also in the course of time, the National Open Data Portal was created and linked to the EU data portal. Of course, there are many challenges ahead of us. I will mention just a few. We noticed that there is a need to raise awareness among data providers, SMEs, students, citizens, to know the importance of the use of open data. We also think that ICT SMEs in our country may be good at what they do, but especially the startups and the young SMEs may require some business skills. Also, business support organizations need to encourage and promote use of open data. We need access to funds opportunities, and they should be more sought, more promoted, and more used. And of course, internationalization and networking are, I would not say only necessary, but crucial. This all means that we would need more projects like ODIHR. Thank you for your attention, and I hope I wasn't too fast and too long.
Thank you, Sandra. And now I would like to call Mr. Mislav Jurišić, GDI Board Advisor, Group Innovation, Development and Strategy at GDI Group from Croatia. Mislav, please.
Hello, everybody. Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear you quite good.
Okay, I will share my screen just a moment. Do you see? Yes.
Yes.
Screen? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Mislav Jurišić. I work at GDI. I'm a board advisor for innovation, strategy, and development. Here, I'm in the role of presenting a little bit about our company and our relation to open data. In Project Odeon, we participated within the hackathon action as a sponsor to promote a tool that we are distributing in the region that is called ArcGIS. That some of you are maybe, I think there might be some of our users here in the group. So just a couple of, and we basically, the idea was in the hackathon to promote the use of this tool and to show the project teams how this tool can be used and how they can improve their own ideas and projects with using open data through ArcGIS platform. So a little bit, just a minute about how many minutes I have, just to 3, 4 or
5, up to 5 minutes.
Okay, so we are a private-owned company based in Zagreb. We are some 200 plus people with offices in around 15 countries in the region. And we have more than 1,000 users. We are selling our products not only in the region, but also across the world. For example, we have also recently, last year, established, in the beginning of this year, established an office in Abu Dhabi. So our users are coming from telecom companies to regional governments, cities, national parks, and so on. Our products are range from our own products. So we have own developed products in the area of asset management, workforce management, fleet management, which are maybe not now so interesting to this auditorium. And on the other hand, we are distributing one of the leading software, leading GIS platform, ArcGIS, which is produced by a company called Esri, an American private company. Sorry. So this is, we think that this is an interesting tool to be used when we talk about using, analyzing, and distributing open data. This is a mapping and analytics platform, and it allows you to, sorry, my mouse is not listening to me. It allows you to use established maps, create new maps, integrate data through different sources, and do different analysis on this data, and use it in application and create your own apps with it. For example, I will go through this slide quickly. One of the examples where we used this platform, of course, it is used in many different areas of business and industry. But when we talk about open data, recently when we started with COVID pandemic, our colleagues from Zagreb and also other countries in the region, in Slovenia, in Sarajevo County, in Albania, North Macedonia, they created this pandemic dashboard, which uses some of the publicly available data. For Croatia, we use the public site of government of Croatia, and for the world data, we use available data from Johns Hopkins University. But in some other countries, for example, in Slovenia, our colleagues also create a similar platform in Sarajevo as well, and in Macedonia they used and integrated some other public agencies' data that were available online, and they are updating it daily. When we compare this kind of level of information to some other countries, for example, if you look at the same platform and how it is used in the States, the data are here, of course, on the county level. This is something that we didn't have in our case in Croatia. One of the interesting examples also of using, for example, open data together with available open data together with the COVID data is, for example, US Census Bureau Hub, where US Census Bureau data, which are in public domain, are integrated into COVID-19 applications, which are then used for example, planning and analyzing situation and health impact or impact on business or other areas of life that are affected by COVID. One interesting example also to see how this platform is used for open data analysis and distribution is Los Angeles GeoHub, which is a site of Los Angeles City Mayor, which basically in very easy way allows you to look at different data on different level, explore it, use it for your own application, even create your own application, whether it is related to some population data or economic data or health data and so on. For example, just as an example, I choose this data which are related to construction works in the city, where you can easily see any construction data on any construction that is going on now in city of Los Angeles, where you can find who is in charge of this construction, some contact data, when this construction started, when will it finish, and so on. So the power of this tool is very high. It all depends on which data and how detailed data you have available, but the application of this tool are enormous. That is all I wanted to say and show at this moment. As I mentioned, we participated in Odeon Hackathon with intention to promote the use of this tool, and there were a couple of teams who really showed some in their ideas some potential to integrate this kind of platform, or at least use it somehow to create and deliver their products. Thank you very much for attention, and that's it. Yeah.
Thank you, Mislav. Do we have some questions? Okay, maybe some later.
Okay.
And now we
Thank
will
you.
hear more about Avtolog from Matej Pesek from Slovenia.
Hey, sorry, let me just share the screen. Oh, I can start screen sharing.
Okay.
Mislav, can you stop the screen share?
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry. I'm just trying to get out. Okay, sorry about this. Sorry. Okay, you can stop share. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
All right, just a sec. Okay, can you see my screen?
No. Yes.
All right, awesome. So my name is Mateusz Pesek, and for the past 2 years, we've been working on a project called Avtolog. So actually, the Avtolog is based on open data about the vehicle registrations in Slovenia. Basically, the Ministry of Transportation exports all the data about the registered vehicles, and for those vehicles who had to undergo technical examinations, so all vehicles which are older than 4 years, we also have that information actually. So what we basically did is we took the data that the ministry provided, and we first had to thoroughly clean it up. We drank a lot of coffee, we took a duct tape, and we put everything into Elasticsearch. And then we started searching for the data. So we did a website where any user who doesn't know how to download these huge files from the open data portal, the OPSI in Slovenia, can check any kind of vehicle identification number and actually get the data about that vehicle. Vehicle identification number is the number you have written in your registration documents, and it's also visible on the majority of cars on the windshield and under the hood and under the front seat, side front seat, and so on. So basically, it's a number which identifies a car. And what the website actually does is when you provide this number, it shows you all the data about the vehicle. And of course, the most, I would say, interesting statistic, which is currently used by the users, is how many kilometers were recorded at the previous technical examination. Because of course, there's one thing which is going on in all European countries, and that's the frauds with the kilometers or the odometers on the cars. For example, here's one case where a car had almost 300,000 kilometers, and all of a sudden it only had 250, and so on. So this is one of the biggest features of the website. And the second is, of course, what people usually want to see is how many previous owners the car had. Of course, for example, in this case, you can also see that these anomalies and frauds usually happen when the car owner is changed. So it's quite interesting to also observe both graphs in comparison. So the basic data about the vehicle is, for example, the brand, the model, the manufacture year, number of owners, as I said, color, and so on. But we also have really in-depth data. For example, we know what kind of ecological tag it has. We know whether it has been bought as new in Slovenia or it has been imported. So if these two dates differ, it usually means that the car was first registered somewhere abroad and then later imported in Slovenia. Why is this important? Of course, if you buy a car which was imported, you also kind of lose the information about how many previous owners there were and what's the actual mileage on the car. We also have, for cars which are 4 years or older, we have data about technical inspection. The most basic thing which usually people check is how did the inspection go? So brezhiben means it was flawless. Pogojno brezhiben means it had some sort of issues, but were not major issues. For example, if you don't have your first aid kit, or if there's a light bulb that needs to be replaced, and so on. And then you have, of course, errors and critical errors and so on. What we also have in this data is who the owner was. If this lastnik means the owner and uporabnik means the user of the vehicle. So basically, you can be an owner of a car and not have a valid license, but then you need to have a user for the car to be registered, because the user will get all the tickets for speeding, for example. And the interesting thing is we can see whether this is a person or a company. So you can also basically check if the car was bought by a person, or it was leased, or it's a company car in a way, and so on. And as I mentioned, we have like a bunch of different specific information about the car, including this is a factory number, and of course all the necessary numbers which you need if you want to connect a trailer to the car. So what's the maximum weight of the vehicle and stuff like that. And one of the, I would say, more common features which is usually checked is also what kind of tires and rims can be placed on the car. So basically, if you buy a car and maybe you figure out that you have no idea what kind of winter tires you can put on, and you want to put a smaller size and so on, you can check it online. The purpose actually at the beginning was to make a website where everybody can check the kilometers of the vehicle, because we all have this information about a friend, or we have this experience ourselves that we were involved in a fraud where we bought a car which only had, I don't know, 200,000 kilometers, but then it turned out it had 400,000 and so on. And we also checked how many of these cars have these anomalies. Of course, some of the data can also contain errors. For example, at the technical inspection, somebody did a typo or something like that. But when we checked this, it was really interesting that it turns out that some of the cars have more anomalies than others. And this is usually German cars, which are already like quite significant amount of them is imported. For example, BMW, Audi, and Volkswagen have a greater share of these anomalies with negative kilometers than, for example, Opel, Citroën, Peugeot, and others, which is also, I would say, maybe stereotypical. We all talked about it, but until we got the data, now we see that it's kind of true. Of course, our intention was also to improve this. What we did last year was we connected a registry of all stolen vehicles in Slovenia. So when you went on the website and you typed in a VIN number of a vehicle which was stolen, it also displayed this information. The interesting thing was that we figured out that there is like 500 vehicles in Slovenia which were stolen, but then passed technical inspections in later years. And it turned out that our police department did not regularly update their database, and now they're doing it. So I would say this is like a residual achievement of the website. So we kind of also improved another data set which we connected to our website. And of course, we had a bunch of really positive reactions from the users. Currently, we have about 2,000 users, daily users on the website. it's not only users from Slovenia, it's also from neighboring countries, most significantly from Croatia, Bosnia, also some people from Austria and Germany. And from what we know, from what the users reported to us, there are about like more than 100 people who contacted us and told us that they prevented a potential fraud by not buying a car because they checked it on Autolog, and about more than 10 people who contacted us and told us that they were they did already buy a car which had different information and then later tried to solve this situation. We also have a really strong user support in terms of people who tell us what other features they would like to have on the website and so on. And this week we also did a web application on iOS and Android. I can show you this on a if I share another screen, just a sec. There it is. Can you see this? Can you see this screen?
Just a second. Yes, we see it.
All right. So this is this is an example of a car which was evidently, it had kilometers tampered because this car already had 300,000 kilometers and then it went to 250. And the interesting thing you can see here, if you connect those two graphs, is like in 2019 there was a user who was 41 years old, and before there was like the owner of the car had 61 years. So basically somewhere here in between you can see that the previous owner most probably tampered with the kilometers. If I show you also the additional information basically of the registration, we also know, besides the fact that this is this car was owned by a company, and then it was owned by a person, and then it was owned by another person, we can also see where it was registered. So in this case, in a city called Krško. What I didn't show you on the slides is a bunch of information which is strictly technical information from the technical exam. So how are the lights, individual lights, what's the weight, partial weight of the car and stuff like that, which is also measured. And of course, the CO2 exhaust test and stuff like that. And you can go, for this car, for example, you can go from 2019, 2018, then you had it in 2015 and 14. You can go through all the technical exams. About the app, I can show you a few images here. What the app basically does is we provided OCR scanner. So you can, instead of typing in the VIN number, you can make a photo of the VIN number through the app and then get all the information displayed on the website. So recently we joined our forces with the local National Slovenian Automotive Union, and we are planning on making a bunch of new features. Considering some of the statements from Aleš Veršič about low-hanging fruits, in this case, obtaining the data is not so low-hanging. We really thank the Ministry of Public Administration, Aleš Veršič and Alenka, who are helping us with this. But what we are facing through this project for the last 2 years is that a lot of people figured out that maybe there are some mistakes made in the technical exam report, and they wanted to change it. What we are facing right now as a user of the open data is that we don't get the updated information. So people went back, they said, okay, here's a mistake, please correct it, and they corrected the report. But we only got the report which was produced, for example, in 2015. In 2020, somebody went back and corrected this report. We are not getting this information at the moment. So I am really putting my hopes into this high-value data set directive. So we might be able to obtain an API for this data, because this data is currently only updated every half a year when the Ministry of Infrastructure provides the data on the National Open Data Portal. Otherwise, I think it's quite... I would say it was quite a challenge at the beginning, but now it's really satisfying working for the project, because we can see how many users are really thankful for this. And I think this is our right to know the information about the vehicle we're buying. We are in a way preventing a bunch of frauds, a bunch of money spent on repairs of a car, which wasn't the way it's supposed to be when users bought it. And of course, considering the mileage, we are also having this environmental effect on the users because they're not buying cars which have catalyst converters already doing 400,000 kilometers. They're rather buying newer cars. So in this sense, we have a bunch of latent, I would say, a bunch of latent features of the project which were not our priorities at the beginning, but they are still as a residual success here. And we are very proud of this aspect, even though we are not directly focusing on it. I believe this is really important, basically for all of us who live in the same country and live in the same community. So that's it from my side. I hope I wasn't too long.
Thank you for your presentation. It was really good. We have one question. Do you have plans to use other countries' open data to make this app, let's say, more global, if those information exist?
Yeah, like what we did, what we want to do for example, for Slovenian market, the cars which are imported, we don't have any information about it. And for the cars which are imported, are usually imported from Italy, Germany, Austria, Belgium, France, for example, for the major, like this major brands such as Peugeot, Renault, Volkswagen, and others. We contacted actually one of the agencies in Germany, and we wanted to request the data, but they said they are not giving it. On the other hand, I think Italy has the data, but you have to buy it. So basically, the biggest problem is, first, it depends on the country how they perceive this data, because Germany says, okay, VIN number could be a potential personal information, where Slovenia and Italy doesn't consider VIN number as a potential personal information. And on the other hand, the problem is that we are lacking this connection to maybe a third party, somebody who is working in Italy on the data, and they might help us get this connection or get the data. Of course, because we are working for public good, we are working for free, so we don't have a large budget for this. And it would be really difficult to put, I don't know, 100,000 euros into buying this data, but it would be really nice to have this as open data, and of course to expand to other markets, not only for Slovenian people who import the cars from other countries, but of course also for other people. As we can see right now, there are some people that are also using the website and are not in Slovenia, for example, from Croatia. So people who want to buy a car or import a car from Slovenia, they will go and check this website, which is also great, but it might be really good to have a similar website in Croatia.
But also we have to move on.
Sorry.
Thank you so much for this detailed information. And if you have any questions, please leave your contacts so everybody can contact you additionally. And next we will hear Code Pixel from Mihailo Raspopovic. Mr. Mihailo.
Hello, everyone. Do you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'll just share my screen now. Just a second. So it's visible, yeah, the screen?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So yeah, hi again to everyone. Thank you for the opportunity for us to present our case study on how we use open data. Actually, the case we are going to present is the web application that we created when lockdown started, actually during the springtime in Montenegro. We are actually a small software company from Montenegro with 10 employees, and this was our our contribution to the society during these challenging times and lockdown months in Montenegro. So actually the main point of the web application was actually to use the data that government institutions published and to gather all that data in one place. So I'm gonna, next slide. for us, what was the challenge at the beginning of the development was when the lockdown actually started. Many people were actually traced, and their lockdown were presenting a problem for the government and for the people, because each person that was in self-isolation, government wanted to kind of alert other citizens that they might be some of their neighbors or people that are close by, that they are in self-isolation and they shouldn't be going out. So they started publishing this on the right side. You can see this list of people who are actually in self-isolation, and publish their addresses and birth dates. So what was the problem with that part of the web page was those data was not visually presented to the user to see clearly, and user didn't have the chance to search, to have the more elastic search and without filters, and generally the web page presented like a bad user experience. And also at the time, since this was one of the first apps that we created, it was one of the first apps in the country that actually showed and visualized all the statistics on the COVID-19 pandemic in Montenegro. So actually what we did is we took all these lists that the government institution published, and we created the so-called web crawlers with several components that took names, addresses, and that took names and addresses of all people in self-isolation, and we wanted to display it on the map. Yeah, so that was the first major part of our web application. So this web crawler took all this. It was around 4,000 or 5,000 people that were in self-isolation, and since those. It was a very hot topic in Montenegro at the time, because the government, it was the unprecedented case, because the government published private and sensitive information about all people that are in self-isolation, and we wanted to get the approval from the agency that protects privacy laws, because under that law, those data should not be publicly visible to everyone. Data such as names and addresses, names or birth date. And what we did is actually we didn't take the names of the people, but the addresses, since the addresses are public data. We actually displayed people as addresses. So on our interactive map, as you can see on the right side, people were displayed on their addresses. So this web crawler took information from the government website and displayed the addresses using this Google Maps geocoding service that determined the addresses based on its coordinates. And inside that map, we also developed for an intuitive way and a simple way for a person to see how based on their location, how close are they to the people who are in self-isolation. So they could not see the names of the persons that are in self-isolation, but those persons are, for example, if I lived in a certain street, I can see there are 10 people around me who are in self-isolation and should not be going out until they pass their 14-day quarantine or self-isolation period. And that was one of the ways, and it was one of the ways that we avoided kind of being targeted for breaching those privacy laws, because not in any moment did we did we display the name of the person. So if a user went on our interactive map, they could only see the location, but if they wanted to see the name, they needed to go to the government website. Also, with that, we developed the other major part of our application was another web crawler that we developed, which was an algorithm that collected all the data from the Institute of Public Health of Montenegro. It was actually the Institute of Public Health was the only governmental body that published all the data based on the COVID-19 pandemic in Montenegro, and they published data such as positive cases, how many people are currently hospitalized, which you can see at the top here, how many people are tested, and we gathered all that data and packaged it and took it and presented in a nice, clean way, so that all users who enter our applications can see all the info on one page. Also, we wanted to achieve a better and clean design, and to present all the statistics in one place, and to visualize all that data with clear graphs, and to keep public really well informed. Also, additionally, we used APIs from neighboring countries. Those APIs were published on websites that also offered data in Serbia, Croatia, Bosnia, and these ex-Yugoslavia countries that we also took and created a graph from, which you can see here on the right side. Yes, you can see here all the visualization. So yeah, this was one of the development of this app posed several legal or ethical issues for us, because the government of Montenegro disputed that they are allowed to publish the names of and addresses of self-isolating persons if the situation is such that it presents a threat to the public health, and under the constitution they shouldn't have done that. So at the moment because the pandemic was declared over around May or June, the issue now became a hot topic in the Constitutional Court of Montenegro, because the government didn't get the approval of the agency to publish that open data, actually that sensitive private data on each person that was in self-isolation, and they're saying that they had the right because the circumstances were unusual, because no one faced this kind of pandemic before. So this also posed for us this ethical problem, because we want to, even within our firm, we wanted to see where the border was between benefiting the public and protecting private data in these circumstances. And what we actually did was what I mentioned earlier, is that we actually published those addresses of each person that was in self-isolation, but did not give out any names, since addresses are something that is public and can be used by anyone. We took around that sensitive topic, and now the government has to actually collaborate with the agency for the protection of privacy, in order to get over this dispute. As for us, when we do our projects, and when we do also this web applications, we tend to follow GDPR standards, which now our country is not yet in the European Union, but closely follows and sets its laws based on GDPR. And also within our web application, we tend not to publish sensitive or private data government published on their website. Also, we made sure that our web application cleared all the database, so that clearing the database, meaning not leaving any trails of any data to be left out on any service, on any server or that can be used by a third party without approval. Also, we tend to implement the strong security and safeguards on the server and database, which are exactly addressing this issue. Also, before we created before we launched this application, we sought the approval from the Agency for Personal Data Protection and Free Access to the Information of Montenegro, and we didn't get the approval. We sought approval, but we didn't get the answer. And the app was already launched. Before the development, no similar apps were developed in Montenegro, so we kind of had a sense of urgency that something needed to be developed quickly. As for our team, we believe that we made the right ethical decisions, and we only followed what the government was saying at the time based on their open data and how they publish their data. The goal was to keep public very well informed about the COVID pandemic, and we did that by collecting all the data and put it on one place. After the initial pandemic was over, the government actually removed all the lists of people in self-isolation, and then we practically shut down the app because of these web crawlers and algorithms that we created could not take any more info from the government website because the open data was not there anymore. The app gained a significant amount of users during the lockdown months. We had over 150,000 visits during the lockdown months, which is roughly 20% of Montenegro populations. As for the open data, we as a software company, we strongly support and we'll continue to develop our application using open data, whether it's from public or private sector. But what this app taught us is that we need to have a great deal of caution when it comes to respecting privacy laws and how to deal with sensitive data. So that's it for our application. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your presentation, and we hope in future that we will see some future apps and usage of big data. And from one interesting presentation to the next one, we are going to see about Amplitudo from Boris Banyac.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Let me just share my screen.
Please, and if you can come closer to the mic or increase volume.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, thank you so
and
much.
I presume everyone see my presentation?
Yes.
That's great. So hello, everyone. Greetings from rainy Podgorica. It was a pleasure listening to everyone's presentation today, and I hope you will enjoy mine as well. So I'm here today to present our product called e-Tenders, which is developed by a company Amplitudo. So in a couple of minutes, I will try to explain what does this product do and small introduction about company who is behind this whole product. So here in Amplitudo, every product we developed, I mean, every good product have to solve some problem. And most often those problems are the problems that occur during our regular business activities. So in this case, what was the problem? So basically, tender search is a very time-consuming process. For example, if you type the phrase tenders in Montenegro on Google search, you will find a hard time to find the information and the tender that interests you. Also, due to the short submission deadlines, most companies often find the tenders that they are interested in very late. There's also constant changes in the tender documentation, which requires daily checking of all sites that publish them. So there is impossibility also to access procurement of large companies, European institutions, World Bank in one place. So companies have that need to use some tender searching and filtering software, but how can they choose the right one? So that's why we have developed this product, Tender Assistant, which is digital and impeccable. And we have developed this software with web portal and smartphone application in 2016. And it is the first of the core Amplitude digital innovative products that has been commercialized. So the software collects the information on public tenders published by Montenegrin government, organizations and companies, as well as international organizations, and we make it all available through the appealing web portal and smartphone applications that are developed both on Android and iOS platforms. So here on this mock-up screen, you can see the preview of web portal, and on the left, you can see the mobile application and how does the front page of this system is looking. So our software makes all public procurement, all commercial tenders, acts, and state commissions decisions easily accessible because we are monitoring over 400 websites of all contracting authorities. So in this way, all the users can the system provides all of the users precision and accuracy, which greatly facilitate the preparation of this very complicated procurement system. So how does it work? So how do we collect this relevant tender information? So we are using web scraping computer program that we like to call Vesco, and it has been developed in-house from our software development team. And this software automatically extracts public available data about all tenders that I mentioned from these relevant websites that are publishing them. So what are the benefits of using this software for the final user? First, it is available both on a very appealing, superbly designed web portal. It is designed, we are very proud of our design because we have one of the largest design team in Montenegro, and everything that we do is done in accordance with the highest UX and UI standards, so users can easily manage and access everything that they are interested in. The same goes with the smartphone application. Sometimes you do not have access to the desktop computers, so every information is available on smartphone applications as well. And one of the most important feature of the system is the notification system that allows all the users to see every tender that they are interested in through the push notifications. And that way they are up to date with the most relevant information, and the whole system offers them the very quality, high advanced search and filter system for every purchasers and bidders. And as I mentioned, one of the biggest benefits is that all the procurement of large companies, European institutions and World Banks are available on the software as well. So who are our users? So we are this product is primarily oriented to the private companies, SMEs, who intend to bid on the public tenders and tender of large companies or organizations such as World Bank, EU delegations, Council of Europe, UNDP, etc., by providing them with the immediate and user-friendly access to all publicly advertised tenders. Every user creates its own profile, and after registrations, they choose the categories like type of tenders and industries they are interested in. And in accordance with those specified interests, the user are receiving timely and up-to-date notifications on the open tenders through the email and push notifications, as I mentioned. And in addition, they will also receive notifications in real time if any changes occurs. So if there's any clarification, decision, contract, termination of procedures, etc., regarding any tender that they are marked as their favorite or tender they marked as the one that they will possibly apply to, notification came to notify them about change. What else does this software offers? So it allows easy browsing through the published tenders by sets of filters, thus enabling users to easily identify interesting tenders. So what does it provide? You can see by each category that you are following which company receives most tenders in that category, which company receives most tenders from a certain contracting authority, how many tenders are published by each contact authority, what are the values of their tenders, the number and value of contracts, and average time from issuing tender call to contract award. There are some similar open database products which users can use in order to facilitate their procurement application process. But we noticed that most of them are very expensive and hard to use. So we try to fit somewhere in this area that is affordable, but still highly user-friendly, so the customers can and users can use it in the very easy way. So of course, recognition shortly after its launch came. So in December 2017, the recognition of the Innovation and Quality Chamber of Economy of Montenegro awarded the trademark Dobro iz Crne Gore, or good from Montenegro, to this product. And we are especially proud because this was the first ICT product that received this recognition. The company behind the idea, the company I'm working for, is Amplitudo. We are leading digital innovator here in Montenegro. We are currently employing 73 people, and we have extensive track in software development, website development, mobile application development, design, as I mentioned, and digital marketing. So for the past few years, everything that our revenue we are investing back into development. So we are focusing on people, products, and ideas, and we are recording constant revenue growth every year since our establishment. So our, let's say, short-term strategy is based on several pillars. One of the most important is this Amplitudo Academy, which provides us with a constant influx of skilled labor, because we are offering to young, motivated, educated people the opportunity to get real knowledge about development and design. Also, we are focusing on gaming and esports, and now we are, as a part of that Amplitudo Academy, we are training 2 groups that are going to deal with the game development. And also, we are now partnering with the IBM because we are going to organize a huge esports event soon. Also, we are focusing on development and placement of our products on foreign markets. Besides this product that is based on open data and Tether offering to customers, we have developed a document management system, travel and vacation management system, several other softwares such as accounting system, etc. And finally, we have established our own startup incubator that we are calling Digital Den, and we are focusing on ideas and people and all those innovators who have idea that we can help them develop and achieve their market and economical and technological maximum. So basically that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me on this email address. And if there's any questions, I'm also here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much on this lovely presentation, and also congratulations on recognition and achieved all the work so far. And next we will hear from Team Blank. The representative will be Ante Bilic from Croatia.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Second. Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Great. Okay, hi, I'm Ante from Team Blank, and today I'm going to introduce you to the world of interactive travel experience. My team is well aware of the fact that the best way to truly explore a destination is with a tour guide. But this is often within large groups of people, non-personalized routes, and high prices for their services. We have come up with a simple and innovative solution to enhance the travel experience that offers flexible routes while being fun and free to use. Meet Turisco, your personal smart travel assistant. Turisco works via WhatsApp, so there is no need to download any other applications. All you have to do is say hi. Through a conversation with the user, Turisco generates the user's model of behavior and learns to adapt their preferences in order to more precisely determine which route and locations to suggest. Information and trivia questions, which you can see rolling on the screen right now, are being generated through the use of open data sources. By answering questions correctly in the game in Turisco, the user earns points that can be later on exchanged for exclusive and special deals with our partners. So with its smart AI code, Turisco can actually create its own questions while using those sources that are special for each city it is in. Here you can see the technologies we used in order to make Turisco as smart as it is. By using AI word processing algorithms, Turisco can use open data sources to pinpoint certain locations while directing a person to those locations that have the best weather forecast according to the Open Weather API it's accessing. Furthermore, through the use of IBM Watson language translator, all the collected data has been translated to English, and the route creation is achieved with a Python geocoding API. And through a sample of more than 300 people, of whom as many as 69% showcased interest in using Turisco, we have generated a user persona that places our potential user in the younger generations of the population. Our business plan is based upon a coupon system and special offers from our partners. We offer our users a free tour guide together with attainable coupons and special deals, while offering our partners ad space in the form of user suggestions to visit the partner's location, customizing the route for users to pass by those locations, and motivation to spend through diverse bonuses and coupons. Since fixed maintenance costs and variable costs of further development or marketing are sufficiently low, our model predicts a small loss in the first year, but profit in the second quarter of next year and continued moderate growth afterwards. The potential of this project is in its ability to be an ever ongoing phase of improvement based on the achieved communication through which the users can quickly and easily access a variety of information and diverse content. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions, maybe?
Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please write it down or maybe directly. Okay, so next we will hear from Disio, Mr. Srđan Šverko.
Yes, hopefully, if everything will work.
So far, so good.
Yeah, trying to start screen sharing, having problems with that.
Okay.
No, cannot do it.
Nothing yet.
Yeah, just a second. No, nothing.
No, still nothing.
Ah, here it comes. Sorry for the delay, everybody. Do you see the screen?
Yes, we see it. Thank you.
Yeah, but I cannot start the... And here it goes. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is a story about Disio. It's about health, ecology, and open source data. And COVID comes also. This is popular. So what is Disio about? It deals with two important issues, at least we consider it important. It's people's health and its ecology. It's a device, actually, it's technology that sterilizes the location everywhere where air conditioning device is present. And it also has sensorics for monitoring of air quality and energy consumption, therefore ecology. All of this data from sensorics is gathered around, and like mentioned a couple of times in these presentations, it's a big data. How does it work? Well, this is a simple version. Ozone generator installed on air conditioner, connected to cloud. It has sensorics connected to cloud, and there is also end user software. Why air conditioners? Yeah, they are everywhere, and you can perform sterilization on a lot of locations, indoor locations. Yeah, and about the market of air conditioners, there are more than 100 million units per year installed in the world. Europe is approximately 7% of that market. So the Desio features, it's first of all, it's sterilization. So every indoor location where air conditioner device is installed can perform sterilization. The other feature is the database. I mentioned sensorics, and yes, it's collected, and it's a lot of data. It's a big data. Who can use it? We aim primarily on government and health institutions. What are the conditions that we are living in? And also, what is the energy consumption of air conditioner devices? It can be used for studies, and it can improve people's life. Of course, there are others potential users, but they are more market oriented. And another feature also, sorry?
Sorry, problem.
Yeah, no problem. Another feature is a map, yeah? And basically it's very simple. It uses open source maps, and you just get on the location, like currently you can get your restaurant. In the future, if Desio goes worldwide, you will see your restaurant if it has been sterilized and what are the climate conditions, maybe even what is the energy consumption, we will see. So at the moment on the market, there is no such a combination about gathering indoor air quality data, indoor climate, and energy consumption and sterilization, which is currently a very hot topic. Actually, it sterilizes from all of the viruses, not just SARS-CoV-2. Any virus. Today is SARS, tomorrow God knows. Revenue streams, yeah, this is also market oriented. It's huge. The market is huge, and when you play with the figures, you come to the huge figures. And the roadmap, a large portion of all of it already exists. It needs to be upgraded in a couple of stages. And this is the team who created it. Who will be interested, you will get the presentation. If you have any questions, just put it into the chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, so next presentation is SMEC Competence Center from Italy.
Just a moment from my side, I will show the screen.
Not a problem.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, this one. Okay, I don't know if it.
Yes, we see it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. And then we start. So SMACT is a company that is born in end of 2018, but really we start on 2019. And we have a big mission from the Economic Ministry, because we should be able to connect the development of the research to the factory. So we have must be concentrated on the soft technologies, as you can see, that is in our name: social networks, mobile, analytics, big data, cloud, and so on. but basically we must be able to use the data. This is our first goal. And to do this, we should be able to make demonstration of the technology, training for people, and be able to manage innovative projects, both by using the necessity from the companies, from the industry, but also, of course, to help them to find the funding project from Europe or a nation ministries or regional. And particularly, we want to be able to put the human, to have a human innovation center. How we will do this? For us, it's quite important to be able to demonstrate as first step the example of what this means. And to do this, we have our partners that are the end user industries. The end user industries are industries that are just going to use the data and to make a digital transformation. But we are some gate to access when you see how this end user are using data and how they apply in their field of business, to a gate to the technology provider. So help from the needs to how do, and as third pillar, going to the research center to tailor the use of the technologies on the specific needs of an industry, of an user, a customer. So we start from the end user, then go to the technology provider, and finally we connect to the researcher. And how we do this? We do by make a connection between a lot of laboratories, which is quite reductive to define as laboratories, because they are some little factory that must produce value, but where we will apply the technologies that we can supply through our partners, as I said before. So we are some provider to connect, I repeat, needs to technologies and then to the research that in our vision is a tailor that must be helped to use the technologies for your needs. This is the competence center in the Triveneto. I think that I can stop if there is any question or any information needed.
Okay, thank you so much on your presentation. If you have any questions, you can put it in chat or send it also directly. Thank you so much. And next we have Quantitas by Duccio Schiavone from Italy.
Hi everyone. This is Duccio Schiavone from Italy. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Did you see it? Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. I'll use a video taken from our website as a background for my speech. I hope you will enjoy it. So, Quantitas is a team of data scientists, engineers, and IT technicians specialized in statistical analysis, with a long-lasting experience in business analytics and analytics development. Quantitas helps the organization to optimize and grow their business based on the analysis of their own data, And it is an IT company which develops decision systems in high quality, in high complexity context, creating tools and setting itself a challenge, implementing new methods to collect, analyze, visualize, and disseminate information. Quantitas invests a substantial part of its work in research and development, promoting activities and events regarding big data exploration and development. Quantitas gives a big value to research results, providing companies and study centers with advanced reporting tools and products which have interactive boards or captivating data animation with great impact on presentations and displays. Quantitas connects companies to the world of open innovation and shows them how to use and exploit open data released by institutions, organizations, or other companies, suggesting solutions such as the transfer of the external knowledge into internal information systems in order to analyze and strengthen decision-making processes. Moreover, Quantitas helps the public administration to develop data-driven governance solutions to optimize the use of locally available open data and public information repositories within a certain administrative context, local, regional, national. Such solutions, such as apps, web apps, etc., are conceived, designed, and built to provide an efficient planning tool to the local administrations. Quantita also supports administrative entities during the open data collection process, verifying the compliance of the information gathered to required standards, such as formats, accessibility, certification, etc., and until the final publication. Finally, Quantita supports communication activities involving the display and dissemination of the results of all these processes using infographics, data visualization, and visual analytics. The services we offer are data analysis. We help companies, institutions, and end users make crucial decisions based on the data analysis. Analytics development, we develop and build database, dashboards, advanced reporting systems, and analytical software. Visual analytics and info design, we create visual storytelling built to analyze, explore, and describe complex information systems. We make visual surveys and gamification. We build user interfaces where the gaming element becomes functional to your data strategy. We are participating as well in 4 Horizon 2020 projects in 4 different key research topics, such as personalized medicine, digital transformation in healthcare, social, economic, and cultural transformation in the context of the 4th Industrial Revolution, and empowering cities and as agents of food system transformations. That's it. We have our contact landing page in which you can find our contacts, the company email address, as well the address of our website, and that's it. If you have any question, please let me know.
Okay, thank you so much for your presentation. And last but not least, we have presentation from Galileo Visionary District from Emiliano Fabris. Mr. Emiliano.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I will share now presentation.
Okay.
Is it moving? The
Yes,
slide?
it's moving. It's
Okay,
alive.
super.
Thank you.
So it's so interesting to hear how many interpretation and declination we give to open data, but it's also really energy taking so many different projects see and understand. So I will be quick and dirty to the point. I will present what we are and what we do. So we are the Science and Technology Park of Padova, Galileo. We are the Italian School of Design, but we are also an incubator of startups, the University Incubator of Padova. And we are also MATEC, Innovative Materials. So we are constantly working in the innovation world with the companies, public company and private companies, and developing projects. So we say that we help projects, companies, and people to grow up fast and safely. We have 25 startups at the moment, 500 company partners, 1,500 innovators.
Emiliano, I apologize, but it seems that we only have a first slide. It's not moving.
Yeah, this is what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
I try in another way. When I asked if it was moving, and this was the meaning. So
it was in the beginning, but then it stopped on the first slide.
Super. Okay, I retry. Is it working now?
Yes, now it's working. Great,
Oh,
thank
super.
you.
Thank you. Apologize.
No.
And 35 professors coming from different fields, so designers, but also anthropologists, and so 10 senior designer, marketing experts, engineers. So the point is that we are continuously sharing our knowledge, our know-how, and we are contaminating everything we do with our different experiences and jobs. This means that also our approach to open data is really particular. This is the people, so you can see with directly our faces, our funny faces, and all these people is organized in these 4 sectors. So visionary education, visionary startups, visionary R&D, and visionary for social. This is the part with the CSR, and so the point is that we use daily open data and Creative Commons, and daily we create Creative Commons. At the same time, we produce very valuable contents and projects starting from open data. And for example, market analysis, competitor analysis, market testing, proof of concepts, new ideas, but also ethnographic and anthropological analysis. These are all the basis of what we do. So we start from here for developing what and for who. These are some of our customers. So Kiko, Camper, Safilo, Barilla, and DeLonghi, and Coty, Loacker, and all these companies are big companies, but also small and very little company for our territory, but also from other territories who are asking to us visions and new direction for new product or new projects. So, for example, with Red Bull or with Loacker or with Forza 10 or with Bonaveri, we create the first biodegradable man can, for example, and with Zamperla we developed the roller coaster that are in this moment in Orlando and Florida in Disney World. And all these projects, they started from open data and from market analysis and customer needs that we analyzed through open data. So this was the starting, and in some occasion it's also the goal, the final goal. So exactly in this moment we are closing an agreement with one important company of the Chamber of Commerce system, that is Infocamere, for starting a new project in our territory based on open data. And we will analyze the processes, the sizing of the markets, and starting from startups of our territory for giving to entrepreneurs the same basis we can have now for analyzing and developing new projects. So it's starting from open data for arriving to public commons. So I thank you, and I show you quickly the last project, and then I give you my address and all my contacts. So if you want, you can contact us in every moment. Thank you so much. I hope I was quick and dirty, as I told you.
Thank you so much on your presentation, and I have to say a special thank you to all the presenters for today. I hope that we heard really interesting information, see really interesting usage of big and open data, especially some innovative ways of usage. And also, if you're interested in all presentations, just please send to project partners of each country. For Montenegro, please put in chat your emails. And I will also put from Hamag Bikro, Croatian project partner. So if you want to contact us directly, it would be our pleasure, not only for presentations. And with the closure of the words, I'm leaving you to think about the new ideas, new inventive, innovative ideas, or how to use big open data. Thank you so much, and thanks everybody.